time I met Adam, I was actually drug out of my apartment by my cousins who said, Ashley, you need to go out and have fun for once. So I broke down and I went out, and they actually took me to two of their friends' get togethers for their birthday party.
Ashley and I met through a get together that a friend of mine and myself were having for our birthday parties. And it was interesting, it was weird because we had the same circle of friends, but we had never met each other, even knew the other person existed.
And so I'm there, and everyone was kind of shocked that I was actually out. Kind of felt overwhelmed and awkward at the same time. So I kind of took to myself by standing in the background. And then this guy comes up, which was Adam, and he compliments me on my tattoos. It's like, hey, I like your tats.
And I saw Ashley, and I walked up to her, and I noticed right away she was very attractive, and I complimented her on her tattoos. And I could tell she was kind of annoyed. I'm sure she hears that a lot. I like your tattoos.
And immediately I am annoyed by it. I don't like guys that use my tattoos as a pickup line.
And it was kind of awkward, but that's how it all started.
Next day, I get tons of text messages from my cousin saying, oh, that guy that, talked to you about your tattoos, he wants to talk to you. He thinks you're very beautiful. And I say no. Not gonna happen. Within the 5 minutes of me just talking to him, he already annoyed me, and I cannot possibly date him. Every Wednesday I had game night at my house. This following Wednesday, I remind everyone on Facebook, tag everyone saying, hey, don't forget game night. Well, Adam sees on Facebook and starts butting in our conversation, saying, oh, I want to go. And then I text my cousin and say, no, do not have him come.
Her cousin was a really good friend of mine, and he told me about game night at her house, and of course I wanted to go. And I went with him, and we just started getting to know each other, became Facebook friends, and exchanged phone numbers. Just started texting and talking more and more, and I noticed right away she was different. Her love for God and her love for her daughter, and her passion for her work was very different than anything I'd ever seen. So I knew then that this was somebody that I definitely wanted to be with.
I thought it was really crazy that he shared the same group of friends that I did, but neither one of us never knew of the other one. We never seen or heard about each other until that day.
I wanna get lost inside. You're never changing beauty that's within you.
I knew Ashley was the one the first time that I brought my kids around her. There was no hesitation from her on her part. Like, she didn't see them as Adam's kids. By that time, we were getting pretty serious, and she took them in, and she treated them no different than she treats her own daughter.
When I finally broke down and realized that this guy was someone special and wasn't just another boyfriend, was when I let him meet my daughter for the first time. My daughter and I have been together alone since she was 1.5 years. So for a guy to come in the picture was a big deal, especially for her because she was used to just me and not having to share. But when he came around my daughter, how he was with her, the way he played with her, the way he, just sat there and act like it was just them two in the room, was when I realized this guy is someone different that actually threw me to the side and paid attention to my daughter first and foremost. And when she finally broke down her wall and started loving him was when that was it. That's when I knew, okay, this guy is it, and I'm gonna marry this guy.
I grew up in church, but I kind of strayed, and she brought me back into church, and she kind of inspires me or pushes me to be a better me. And it's just, I knew then she was different. She was the one.
The moment I'm alive is every moment that I am with you. Every moment.
When I decided to propose to Ashley, I had no doubt in my mind that that's what I wanted. So I went and I found a ring that I thought she would really like. I asked her parents if I could, for her daughter's hand in marriage. And of course they said yes because they loved me. And I just remember when we were in the car, I had no idea how I was going to do it, what I was going to say. So I had the ring. I knew, like in my head, it was there what I wanted to say, but I didn't know how to get it out. So I just kind of winged it.
When Adam proposed to me, he had picked me up from work, and he says, my parents and everyone want to go out to eat for his brother Raymond, who was going back to the Marines that following day. He says they're already at the restaurant waiting on us. So I say, okay, well, can we go to the house first so I can change my clothes because I had hair all over me. And he says, okay. So as we're driving, he misses the turn that we're supposed to take. And I'm like, what are you doing? You missed that, the turn. And he's like, oh, I wasn't thinking, I'm sorry. So then we get to the light, and he's supposed to take a left, and he goes straight. And I'm like, what are you doing? You're missing where we're supposed to be turning. And he's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. So he continues to go straight, then pulls into Shy Pond, and parks the car. And I'm thinking we're just going to reverse and turn around.
She had no idea I was going to do it. We were just riding around, and I told her, let's go to the park. And she didn't want to go to the park. And I said, no, I really want to feed the ducks. I really think we should feed the ducks. And I could tell she was getting kind of irritated, like she didn't want to go to the park. She didn't want to feed the ducks. So we pulled in to the park, and I was very persistent. Babe, let's go feed the ducks.
And he's like, come on, let's feed the ducks. And I said, no, I'm scared of those things. They chase after you. I don't want to feed the ducks. I said, let's go. They're waiting on us. He says, come on, Ashley, let's just walk around and feed the ducks. And I'm still persistent on saying no.
And she didn't want to, so I said, okay, I'll just do it right here. And I got out of the car, walked around.
He gets out of the car, walks around, opens my door, and says, come on, let's go. Let's feed the ducks. Let's just walk around. And I'm still saying, no, come on, hurry. I need to go to the restroom. Let's go. And he's like, come on. He goes, you know what? Fine. I'll do it here. He gets down on his knee and begins to tell me how much he loves me. And, he can't wait to spend the rest of his life with me. And pulls out the ring and says, will you marry me? And I say, shut up. And he's like, so I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, I'll marry you. So put the ring on my finger, and it was it. And we drove to the restaurant and surprised everyone else with the ring. And of course, everyone was super excited.
About a month after I proposed to Ashley, we decided to get married, make it official.
We had a little ceremony here at Family Life Church, and we did it in the prayer garden with Pastor Robert.
It was small, immediate family, siblings, my parents, her parents.
It was very small and intimate. We gave each other our vows, and I originally had wanted this big, huge wedding, but then once I thought more into it, that's something very special to me that I wanted to have very intimate with just my family instead of this big old ceremony at first and kind of getting lost in the moment of everyone around. So having just our parents and our siblings made it that much more special.
Storm is raging deep inside of me. You are the one who holds me still. If there's one thing that won't change, it's the nothing.
Life with Ashley is definitely different for the better. Like I said, I was brought up in church, and I kind of fell out of it. So she motivated me. She actually volunteered me to play on the worship team, which was awesome. And it's just, every day I feel motivated to do better, to be better, a better husband, a better father. It's definitely a different lifestyle than the way I was before. Just kind of didn't really take responsibility for anything. Just kind of did my own thing. Now I feel grounded, like I have roots, stable. Yeah, I get in trouble a lot.
Being with Adam, from the beginning of us dating, it was different for him because he was used to, not having rules. And me, I was kind of focused on becoming a better person, going, to work full time and taking care of my daughter and following God's word. So I kind of did throw him under the bus and volunteered him to be on the worship team without asking him.
Yeah, it's like I don't feel forced to do anything. I think she just brought out the part of me that was already there. The person that I wasn't who I wanted to be. So it's definitely a change for the better.
Definitely. And now, for our kids have a family now. They have, a home to come home to, and we're complete. We had our kids for 5 years now, and it's like, okay, we didn't have the other one to share it with. And now that, we're married and, trying to raise them the right way, we kind of look forward to what God has in store for us and our family.
Yep.
Stays the same. It is only in you that I remain. I wanna get lost inside your never-changing beauty. That's within.
What I love most about Ashley, if I had to name just one thing, is just her heart. She's got a huge heart for people she doesn't even know, for her family, her heart, her love for God. She looks intimidating on the outside, but she has a huge heart. She's a softie, and she inspires me to love more, not just her or my family, but just people in general. Her compassion is just amazing.
What I love most about Adam is his love for everyone else besides himself. He puts everyone else first. If I ask him for a bottle of water, before he hands me the water, he opens it already for me. If I say I'm cold, he's there with the blanket already. If my daughter is sick, he's already asking to go get the medicine for her. He absolutely cares and loves everyone genuinely, and that was such an amazing thing to see, especially from a man put others first before he put himself.